that night, Richie had to play drums for Buddy, and Buddy played drums for Richie. They switched around, you know, and I saw a little more of Richie that night than I had been, you know. We was backing him on the show, but he was in and out there playing drums, so he asked me 4 or 5 times could he fly to my place. And no, I wanted to get up there too. Had a lot of dirty clothes. So got off the bus. It was out here, kind of around the side of the ballroom, and walked over, got my little bag, little duffel bag full of dirty clothes, went over to the station wagon, was parked right here at the back door. And Buddy and Mr. Anderson was in the front seat of the station wagon. And the Big Bopper was in the second seat, so I slid in and put my bag there. And Buddy said, Tommy, go back in and check and make sure we got everything loaded out. And he had never said that before, you know. But we loaded our own stuff every night. We didn't have roadies back in those days. So I came back in here, in this room right here, here's the door I came in. And Richie was standing right behind you in the doorway there, signing an autograph. And he seen me come in here, and I walked over and looked in that closet. He said, come on, guy, let me fly, you know. So for some reason, I just pulled a $50 out of my pocket, flipped it, and said, call it. He said, heads. So it did heads. So I went back out to the station wagon and told Buddy, I said, I'm not going. Me and Richie flipped a coin. He's going to my place. Buddy said, that's cool. But I said, but when you go to the post office, my mother sent me a letter. Back then, you sent it to general delivery, you know. But, he said, give me some ID. So I took my wallet out, fishing around for my fishing license, or somebody had the ID on the driver's license. And he said, I'll just give you all that. So he took it and he put it in his inside pocket. Well, when they found the bodies the next morning, they found 5 wallets with different IDs. So they had my name on the Associated Press as one of the people on the plane. And then Mr. Anderson came out there and he said, I talked to him a few years ago, and he said, I came out there and identified the bodies for him and told that you weren't on the plane yet. So that was that.
When they were booking this, that this was it, I don't know for sure what I would have said. Probably yes, but I would stop for a minute and thought, because I've kind of dodged all of that all my life, you know. I mean, ever thinking too much about it. It's not that, I don't know how to explain it. It's just a mixed bunch of feelings when you know, you're never ready for someone dying, and when you feel guilty about it and everything, you know, you're thinking, trying to find reasons that you might have caused it, you know. And I never even saw a picture of the plane crash until 15 years later. I wouldn't look at it. And I was in my house one day looking through a book, and all of a sudden I saw it. And I just looked at it, and I could pick out who was who. Well, but it's something I never a week goes by that I don't think of something about Buddy and those guys. Not a haunt of any kind. It's usually something good, something I learned from them. Not long ago, I saw Richie Valens' sisters and their cousin. You know. We hung out with them a little bit, but it was a good thing. You know. But I learned that was a turning point. The night right here in my life, and that's probably why this place is the one I remember. And I don't remember anything before it. You know, like any ballroom or anything we played. I remember being in the bus, freezing to death. But I remember coming here and getting off the bus and going into a room. It wasn't like a dressing room at all. And there were a lot of chairs lined up. And that's where the Big Bopper came over. Buddy had told me that he had chartered the plane for me and him and Tommy also. And so that's where the Big Bopper came over. He'd had the flu real bad. He was feeling terrible. The seats on that, he was a big man. And the seats were about like that. We were in a converted bus, school bus. And so he said, I got to get some rest. He said, would you let me have your seat on the plane? I said, it's okay with Buddy, it's okay with me. And I heard later that Tommy and Richie flipped coins. But I think of things every once in a while. I think something to laugh that went on that tour. Just it was quite an education for me to be so young.
What effect did Buddy Holly have on your music and your career and your life?
And attitude. Buddy was what I call an upper. He was laughing all the time. But he had another side to him, too. You messed with him, and you didn't want to mess with him. That was it.